Breaking news tonight. The Justice Department is appointing a special counsel to take over the Trump campaign Russia investigation. Stunning news as we come on the air. We have all the developing details. Market plunge, jitters on Wall Street. Is the so-called Trump bump over? Deadly outbreak in Tornado Alley, a neighborhood demolished, and a new threat, 20 million in the path. Beating cancer, what doctors tell patients but so many ignore. A groundbreaking new study, simple steps to dramatically improve your odds. Embassy brawl, a violent clash, bodyguards caught on camera pummeling protesters. Why this scene has ignited an uproar. And prom lottery, how one high school takes the stress out of the most important date night of all. Nightly News begins right now.
From NBC News World Headquarters in New York, this is NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt.
Good evening. There are several major developments breaking as we come on the air tonight related to the Russia controversy swirling around the president. The Justice Department has just appointed a special counsel to lead a new investigation into Russian influence in the election and whether there was coordination with members of the Trump campaign. The department naming former FBI Chief Robert Mueller as special counsel. The decision, a bow to the growing pressure from Capitol Hill after the president's firing of FBI Director James Comey, who was leading his own Russia investigation, and the cascade of stunning developments that have followed in recent days. Justice correspondent Pete Williams has the breaking details from our Washington newsroom. Pete, what do you know?
Well, Lester, after serving as the Deputy Attorney General for 3 weeks, Rod Rosenstein today took himself out of overseeing the Russia investigation, turning that over to Robert Mueller, saying that the move is in the public interest so the public can have confidence in the outcome. Mueller is the former FBI director. He served 12 years in that job. He was actually held over 2 extra years before James Comey became the FBI director. And next to J. Edgar Hoover, Mueller is the longest serving in that job. He'll have the full authority to investigate the Russian matter that any U.S. attorney would. That includes the power to file criminal charges. Congressional Democrats have been pushing for the appointment of a special counsel since Rosenstein was confirmed and since Attorney General Jeff Sessions took himself out of making any decisions about the investigation. Mueller is now 72. He took over as FBI director just a week before 9/11, and more recently, the NFL chose him to review its handling of the Ray Rice domestic violence case. He's now in private law practice here in Washington, but he says tonight he's going to resign from that firm to avoid any potential conflicts. So the immediate effect of this is to mean that the investigation is going to take longer because Mueller will have to get up to speed on the case. He can use existing Justice Department prosecutors to help him. He can also ask to have others brought in from outside. No reaction yet tonight from the White House, and administration officials tell NBC News that the White House counsel's office was informed of Mueller's appointment after the order bringing him on was signed this afternoon, Lester.
Pete, does Mueller have the authority to lead a truly independent investigation?
Well, we don't have independent counsel anymore like Ken Starr during Whitewater. That law expired in 1999. So now we have these special counsel. They do have the right to do anything a normal federal prosecutor would do. If he wants to expand the investigation, though, he'll have to get permission from the Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein. But it seems like at this point, if Mueller asks for something, he's going to get it, Lester.
All right, Pete, thank you. And there is another story breaking right now in Washington involving comments reportedly made by a powerful Republican about Trump, Putin, and money. Let's go to our chief White House correspondent, Hallie Jackson. Hallie, what can you tell us about that?
Lester, this is a potentially explosive report that could do some real damage to the relationship between President Trump and Republican leaders. The Washington Post is reporting tonight that House Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy told Republican colleagues, quote, "There's 2 people I think Putin pays, Rohrabacher and Trump," he said, referring to the now president and a Republican congressman. The Post says that when some lawmakers laughed, McCarthy quickly added, "Swear to God." The comment, captured in a recording the Post says it has listened to, says on that tape, Ryan is heard interrupting immediately, saying, "No leaks. This is how we know we're a real family here." The comments made last year. Tonight, McCarthy told NBC News it's a bad attempt at a joke. And a spokesman for Speaker Ryan echoed that, telling us tonight this entire year-old exchange was clearly an attempt at humor. No one believed the majority leader was seriously asserting that Donald Trump or any of our members were being paid by the Russians. What's more, the Speaker and leadership team have repeatedly spoken out against Russia's interference in our election, and the House continues to investigate that activity. Lester?
Hallie Jackson at the White House, thank you. The line is quickly forming in Washington this evening. Congressional committees anxious to put James Comey under oath to hear from him whether President Trump did in fact ask him to back off the Michael Flynn part of the Russia investigation. The former FBI boss has remained silent since the president fired him last week, but word of the memo that multiple sources say was written by Mr. Comey has triggered allegations of obstruction and even calls for impeachment. Kristen Welker has the very latest. Kristen.
Lester, good evening. The acting FBI director was here on Capitol Hill meeting with lawmakers when word of that special counsel broke. And it comes as the calls are growing louder to hear from his predecessor, James Comey, including by the chairman of the House Oversight Committee, Jason Chaffetz, who wants a hearing next week. Tonight, 3 different congressional committees now demanding memos, recordings, and clarity about the president's conversations with former FBI Director James Comey, the top Republican in the House, speaking out for the first time about the president's latest controversy.
Our job is to be responsible, sober, and focus only on gathering the facts.
So do you want to see Comey testify in an open hearing?
I will leave it to the committees that are doing these investigations.
House Speaker Paul Ryan also saying he's still confident in the president when pressed by reporters as he walked out the door.
You still have full confidence in the president.
And with some Republicans now making comparisons to Richard Nixon.
I think we've seen this movie before. I think it's reaching the point where it's of Watergate size and scale.
Others are starting to talk impeachment for the first time. Michigan Republican Congressman Justin Amash, never shy about criticizing his own party or Mr. Trump, telling reporters this morning he sees grounds for impeachment if the Comey memo is true. Well, earlier today you said that the president should be impeached if the Comey memo is true. Do you stand by that comment?
I have nothing further to add.
Do you think the president may have obstructed justice?
I have nothing further to add.
Do you still have full confidence in the president? Still, rank-and-file Republicans largely standing by the president.
At this point, I have not seen anything that is that alarming.
If you polled his supporters today, I will bet you he has roughly the same support he had in the election.
Trying to capitalize on the GOP discord, a Democrat calling for impeachment on the House floor.
I will not be moved. The president must be impeached.
Today, reaction pouring in from Trump voters in some of those districts, Lincoln County, North Carolina.
To see how he is pushing against a system that does have checks and balances for a reason, my opinion of him is quite different than it was before.
Kenosha, Wisconsin.
Everything he does, he's getting picked on and pulled apart.
Trump's always going to hold on to his true believers, but the people who put him over the top in the election are independents who wanted to shake things up in Washington. And this may not be the way they imagined shaking things up.
Kristen Welker, NBC News, the Capitol.
And meantime, this evening, jitters on Wall Street. The Dow plunging 372 points, its worst day since September. Is this the end of the so-called Trump bump? And what does it mean for investors? NBC's business correspondent Stephanie Ruhle joins us. Stephanie, what's behind this?
Think about the Trump rally. This was based on President Trump's pro-business policy promises, tax reform, infrastructure spend, deregulation. And where are they? They're hanging in the back. Right now, all focus is on Russia. As you said, the special prosecutor has been named. We're not talking about that agenda anymore. Also, think about President Trump and his administration. Very Wall Street heavy. The market liked that. And with the talk of the president being unhappy, maybe some shakeups, we don't know who's going to be left standing. The market likes predictability. They like stability. Those are two things we are not getting from the president right now. But if you're an average small investor, this is not a time to do anything major, no changes. It's a hang tight, follow the news, but don't move around.
All right, Stephanie Ruhle, good to have you here. Thank you. Turning overseas now, where U.S. and European officials today began hammering out details of an expected ban on passengers carrying laptop computers or other devices onto any flight from Europe to the U.S. It comes amid reports that ISIS has found a new way to smuggle bombs onto planes in personal electronics. Let's get more on this from NBC's Tom Costello.
In Brussels today, Homeland Security and the acting TSA chief trying to convince European authorities of an escalating threat to aviation. ISIS has already used explosives to blow a hole in the side of a plane over Somalia and down a Russian jetliner over Egypt. The discussion today, whether to ban passengers from bringing on board laptops, e-readers, tablets, or DVD players. Already, passengers arriving in the U.S. from 10 airports in the Middle East and North Africa are required to check those devices in luggage, which goes through better explosive screening. Now, the U.S. wants to expand that ban to flights coming from Europe to the U.S.
For them to take steps to eliminate carry-on laptops demonstrates to me that they believe that this is a credible risk, it's a significant risk, and it's imminent.
But it could have a huge impact on anyone flying transatlantic. 426 flights from across Europe arrive in the U.S. every day. According to travel website Hopper.com, that's 105,000 passengers a day. 15,000 of them business and first-class passengers who, like many people in coach, often use their laptops on board. Now, some airlines are pushing back, concerned it could lead to confusion with some passengers choosing not to fly.
That would be a great inconvenience to all travelers, especially business travelers, because on these long flights you usually work all the time.
Tonight, no agreement from Brussels on the specifics of a laptop ban. The Americans and Europeans will meet again next week in D.C., and a formal rollout could be weeks away. Tom Costello, NBC News, Washington.
Now to a deadly tornado outbreak that roared across the heartland, carving a path of destruction, demolishing homes as families ran for cover. Tonight, that threat isn't over. Millions are on alert. NBC's Jacob Rascone reports from the storm zone.
In the heart of Tornado Alley, another deadly outbreak.
This is a tornado on the ground,
pummeling Elk City, Oklahoma. The Andreessen family trying not to panic.
We were all scared. We were all scared.
Rocky and Linda, their daughter, and her family cramming into this tiny storm shelter, installed only last year.
Well, we did a little bit of praying. Just held on to each other.
100 homes damaged or demolished here. One of 26 tornadoes reported in 24 hours from the Texas plains up through Wisconsin, where a trailer park in Chautauqua nearly wiped off the map.
The trailer park looks like it might have been leveled.
Our officers and deputies and firefighters lifted parts of trailer homes off of people.
2 people died in this latest outbreak, a total of 34 tornado-related fatalities so far this year, nearly twice as many as all of last year. The survivors,
a dining table went through this window, sitting out in the front yard,
counting their blessings.
It can be fixed. It'll take a while, but it can be fixed.
But the threat is not over.
Tonight, severe storms firing up from Iowa into Minnesota. Tomorrow, 20 million people at risk for isolated tornadoes, strong winds, and damaging hail.
The National Weather Service says the tornado that hit here in Elk City was at least an EF2, wind speeds up to 135 miles an hour, strong enough to tear the roof and the walls from this home and just about every other home in this neighborhood as they now begin to rebuild. Lester?
Jacob Rascone tonight. Thank you. Still ahead, beating colon cancer, how a few simple steps can dramatically raise survivors' chances of living longer, why they may want to go ahead and have that glass of wine with dinner tonight. Also, violence erupts in the nation's capital, a foreign leader's bodyguards attacking protesters, why they may not face any consequences for it.
Earning your cash back shouldn't be this complicated. Yet some cards limit where you earn bonus cash back to a few places and then change those places every few months. Enough with that. With Quicksilver from Capital One, you always earned unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase, everywhere. Welcome to Unlimited. What's in your wallet?
Nothing spoils a moment like heartburn. Try new Alka-Seltzer Ultra Strength Heartburn Relief Chews. It's fast, powerful relief with no chalky taste. Ultra Strength, new from Alka-Seltzer. Enjoy the relief.
Why wait to find your perfect mattress when you can shop early during Mattress Firm's Memorial Day sale? With savings of up to $1,000 on Beauty Rest, Serta, and more. Beauty Rest queen sets as low as $499.99. Only at Mattress Firm.
Advil liquid gels work so fast, you'll ask, what bad back? What pulled hammy? Advil liquid gels make pain a distant memory. Nothing